Welcome to Module 6 of the Deadly Sins of Six-Figure Product Launch. All right, in this module, we are going to be discussing failure to do the math properly on your sales prices, your adverts during launch, and your JV contest prices. All these could turn out to be big mistakes if you didn't pay mind to them before your launch, if you didn't think them through before your launch, because once the launch is already on the way, it is too late for you to begin to think about this. All right. And this is also something that hurt me greatly despite my $365,000 launch. All right. I didn't do the math well. I didn't do the math well on my sales prices because my product is a continuity one. All right. It's a software as a service. It's not a plugin or a buy and forget software. All right. I still have to manage my customers after the launch. I have to continue to pay for servers. I have to continue to pay to service them, to improve the software. So there are lots of expenses after the launch that should have guided me into deciding what I'm going to sell, how I'm going to sell it, and the prices. And that is haunting me even now. So when you do your math well, you got to do your math and know what you can afford to pay your JV manager. All right? Which means you have to really sit down, know what price, have a realistic, what I call a realistic sales point, all right? And then know how much does the product cost. Okay, cost you up to date before the launch. How much is going to cost you to service your customers after the launch, particularly if you're having a software that is a continuity project, all right? Based on that, you have to know how much you can afford to pay your JV manager. It doesn't matter what they are asking. They can ask for whatever. If a JV manager tells you he wants 20% of gross, it's for you to sit down and say, okay, how much am I paying my affiliates? I'm paying my affiliates 50%, paying maybe JVZoo 60%, but let's settle for 50% now. Then you know that there is a 5% for JVZoo and there's a 2.9% for paper. So you have 7.9% that is coming off of your gross at the top. You have 50% that is coming up off the top. So by the time you add another 20% of gross to your affiliate, you are looking at 79%. And that does not include any other cost, does not include the cost of your affiliate prices, the contest prices, does not include the cost of getting the product ready, does not include the cost of your sales page, does not include the cost of your advertising, all those stuff you spend before the launch. So if you do your math, if I had done my math, for instance, before Mobimatic was launched, I would have seen that the figure was not going to work. And at that point, it's either I'm not going to have a launch or we have to renegotiate everything. But I was doing the thinking after, and it was too late. Also know what you can afford to pay in contest prices. It is true, affiliate contests actually lead to a lot more sales because the more contests you have, the more the affiliates are going to be motivated to keep mailing. But you have to draw the line. You have to know what your break-even point is. You have to know what you can afford, particularly when the launch has started. Because I had 4 different affiliate contests. We had the pre-launch contest for the person that sends the most people to the pre-launch site. I had opening day contest. I had a flash contest somewhere in between. Then I also had a closing contest. In fact, 5. What am I talking? I have a closing contest. That was the person that sells the most between Friday and Sunday. Then I had the main prize itself. So basically, it just occurred to me even now that I had 5 contests in the Mobimatic launch. Yes, that might have been a big factor in getting the total sales to $365,000, but at what cost? So if you are going to be doing this contest, and I agree, when you go through the product launch miracle main course itself, you are going to see the importance, how very important affiliate contests are, how to structure it. But in the area of the mistake in me not doing my math, I could have reduced those figures. I could have maybe not do one of those contests. I could have said I'm not doing a pre-launch contest because I really didn't see how much improvement it brought in the bottom line. Or if I'm going to do it, I could have made the price very low. All right, or I could have said the opening day contest would be the same as the pre-launch contest or reduce the prices. And when I got to the point where they wanted me to do a flash contest, which is the 3rd contest, okay, I could have also looked at the figures. Instead of the $5,000 or $3,500 we spent, I could have made that a $1,000 thing. All right. The closing contest, which is for the last 2 days of the contest, also I could have reduced the prices I paid in the contest, and then the closing contest, which where we give out $7,000 to the winner, and $3,000. So in the closing contest itself, it was 12,500. The contest in between, we spent 7,500. So contests are good. They are great. You are going to see how important they are in having a six-figure launch. You probably can't get a six-figure launch without having some affiliate contests in there, but you have to do it in the context of your profitability, which I didn't do. You got to do the math at every point of the way. You have to know what you can charge for your products. That is very key. All right. In this one also, I made a big blunder. For instance, my affiliate managers recommended I should have a charter membership. All right. Charter membership is basically where the customer pays only one time for the rest of the life of that software. Yeah, this is a software that basically incurs data fees every month, includes server fees every month. And the more somebody uses the software, the more my server fees. And here am I agreeing to a very low one-time forever charge, simply because my affiliate manager advised me that this will make people buy a lot more of it, which is true. In fact, 70 or 80% of the sales we made were people who are buying the charter membership. But it's like selling something that is going to cost you $2,000 over 3 years for $249 so that you can make more sales today. That's stupid. In retrospect, now I shouldn't have agreed because it doesn't make sense. Now I got 80% of people who bought Mobimatic not going to pay me any more money over the next 5 to 10 years, and I have to carry them. I have to carry the server fees, I have to carry the hosting fees, I have to service them, I have to provide customer service, I have to provide improvements to them, which means I'm going to be doing that from my pocket already. I ended up at a loss. I didn't have any reserve, though I had told, although they sold it to me as a way of getting a capital that I can invest in my business so that it can become a real going concern. But stupidly, even though I have extensive accounting experience, again, I don't know what happened. I just didn't think. I guess I was just overwhelmed by these top guys agreeing to promote my products, and I stopped thinking. So I went ahead. We had the charter membership for $297. All right. When our competitors are selling theirs for $490, they are selling annual for $497, just annual membership. I'm saying, they told me, don't worry. A lot of people bought the charter will probably not even use it. You will not have to spend a lot of money on server and all that. I believe them. It's not their business. It's my business. I should have said, no, that cannot work. Even if I'm going to give charter membership, I should have made maybe they pay a one-time fee and then a little money every year just to at least cover my server and service fees, even if I'm not going to show profit for them. So you need to do the math. I didn't do the math. Not only did I end up with a big loss, despite the fact that I made $365,000 in sales, I'm going to have to make a lot more sales after the launch to be able to cover the cost of those who bought during my launch. How stupid is that? As Donald Trump would say, that is such a stupid calculation on my part, but I let myself be carried away by the recommendation of the JV manager. Now, I want to reiterate again, I'm not pulling down my JV manager. He's doing his job. It's for me as a business owner to do my job. So I don't want anybody coming out of here thinking I'm dissing or disrespecting or trying to pull down my JV manager. No, I'm the one that didn't understand that the JV manager is on a different level of thinking from me. I'm on a different level of thinking from my affiliates also. There are 3 people involved in this. And everybody comes at it from their own best interest. It is for me to have done my math and say, listen, this cannot work. I cannot sell this thing one-time membership at $297 and still make money anywhere in the future. And at that point, it's either we're not going to have a charter membership or we will have increased the price to something like maybe $997. There's nobody that says nobody will buy it, because after the launch, I did raise the price to $997 per year and made some sales. The same product. All right, I did raise the price to $997 for the agency, for the white label agency, and it's for 1 year. And we got some sales right a few days after the launch. So I didn't do the math. I was more focused on the sales than on the profitability. And you cannot afford that. All right, you cannot afford that because at the end of the day, when the launch is done, in fact, the way the JV managers did my JV Zoo account, their own money is automatically deducted from each sale before any discussion. It's automated. At the end of the launch, they're going to be gone. All right, they'll collect that 20% of gross and they are gone regardless of what happened to your business. You have to run the business. You have to make your clients happy. You have to pay for servers. You have to pay for personnel to manage them. You have to pay for software upgrades. You have to pay all this stuff. And you have gone to sell life membership for a one-time price that does not even cover their service for 1 year. So while we got a lot of sales in there, it was a stupid calculation on my part. I should have said no, or I should have explained to them why I cannot do that. But they just pulled the figure from the air. They didn't really sit down with me to calculate every aspect of the expense. They just thought that 297 made sense. And I agreed. All right, so I can't blame them. I'm the business person. I'm the one that would have said, listen, wait up, guys. These are my costs every month. If we sell it at this price, that means I'm not going to be able to run this company. But I did it. And at the end of the day, we got 80% of our buyers buying the charter membership. Of course, right after the launch, I removed it forever. And I couldn't even believe when one of them was even calling me to release it for one more day. When we got JV product of the day, I'm like, no, I'm not doing. For every sale of the charter membership I made, I'm going to be making a loss. Why would I want to do that? At this point, my brain was already working. So I told him, no, I'm not doing. He wasn't happy because we would have made a lot of sales of that at that price if we brought the price back for just one more day. But I would have been putting just money in their pocket and the pocket of my affiliates with nothing in mind. So I had nothing to gain by leaving that price. So I told them, no. If we are going to put this in, it's going to have to be $997 times 4, what we have now. And of course, that wasn't going to work for them. So my point is, rather than me sitting down to blame them, I needed to have done my math. And you need to do yours. Know what you can afford to pay your JV managers and affiliates for continuity. For instance, one of our packages had this $47 a month component. All right. Now, I need to be able to know that, okay, for these people that are going to continue to buy after the launch, all right, that money they are paying, is there enough in it for me to be profitable while also still paying my JV managers and my affiliates their commissions after? I should have done the math, then agree on what my continuity commission will be. It's either they're going to promote or they're not going to promote. But at least if they promote, I will have profit from my work. But I didn't think. I didn't even discuss it. It didn't even occur to me to sit down and calculate all this. And that is why you see me frowning even after doing what is called a product launch miracle for a first-timer to do $365,000 in sales in just 5 days on the JV Zoo. It's almost unheard of. All right? But you expect me to be throwing parties. But I'm frowning and I'm crying. Why? Because I never did my math well. Don't put yourself in that situation. Do your math. You don't want to make $1 million in sales and have $200,000 in losses from it. That would not be cool because everybody who saw what you did will be thinking you have all that money in your pocket and you don't. And there's no reason why you shouldn't have a big chunk of it. If I had done my math, I'm sure I would have been able to get my JV managers and other people to agree with me. All right? Even on the continuity, I could have said I'm not paying 50% on continuity, I'm paying 30% on continuity. It's been done. I've seen some JV Zoo products where the continuity is even 10% or 20%. All right? The JVs that will promote will still have promoted. But I never argued. I never did the math. I didn't know my math. And now I have to deal with it. You don't have to go through that pain. You don't have to go through that pain. You got to do your math. You got to sit down. You got to do it. And then when it gets to what we call a breaking point, you have to learn to tell your JV managers, no, I cannot do it that way. No, I cannot charge that. And I bet you when you say no, they'll leave you alone. Towards the end of the launch, I finally got my voice back. I finally knew how to say no. When I started saying no to some things, they will argue, but I put my foot down. They left me alone because they know in their heart of hearts that I have to run this company. All right? But it was too late for me. Now I'm struggling mightily to keep the business going by having to go raise further capital outside. The whole idea of the launch was to get the capital to run the company. But we didn't make enough based on all these stupid deals that I made. So now I have to inject even more of my own capital into a product that just made $365,000 in sales. It's really, really stupid. If I were to hire myself, I would have fired myself for not thinking. But the buck stops with me. It's my job to think this thing through, and I did it. Don't be in my shoes. Do your math and know what you can afford to give anybody. Know what you can afford to charge for your products. Otherwise, you will be crying at the end of your 6-figure launch.